So welcome everyone. My name is Marcela Granados. I am the Global Head of Insurance here at Databricks. Been with Databricks for 3 years, and this is the second year that we are doing these financial services breakout sessions. We are changing, I don't know, has anybody here been to the Data and AI Summit last year? Just raise your hand. Okay. Okay, it's always good to just know who has been here before and what you guys think about what we're doing. But yeah, this is the second year that we're doing these sessions specifically for insurance. We're changing the format a little bit. This session is about from prediction to prevention. As I said, my name is Marcela. And if you can just please get your phone and scan this QR code. This is the first year that we are connecting the business with the technical via our Databricks outcome maps. Specifically for insurance, what we did is we look at 3 main imperatives. One of them is around driving growth. The second one, which is what we're going to be covering today, is about protecting the firm. Obviously, regulated industry, it's all about protection. Insurance, more than any other vertical, cares about that. That's the whole purpose why we exist. And then the last one is be more efficient. So if you can scan your phone, scan the QR code with your phone and tell us which are the use cases that are top of mind for you and your company, that would help tailor some of the great solutions that we're building for the community. Okay. And just a little bit of an overview on the agenda. We have 40 minutes together. I'm going to invite Michael Ban, friend nationwide, to just do some keynote on some of the interesting things he has been doing. We're very lucky to have him. He's been a customer of Databricks when literally nobody believed in Databricks by the time that he did it. Then we'll transition to a panel with Sebastien from Intact Insurance and Dilani from Tribant. And we'll just do some wrap-up and closing, and hopefully that's going to be beneficial for all of you. So without further ado, let's welcome Michael Ban from Nationwide.
So a couple weeks ago, Marcela asked me to do this presentation, and we only came up with a title, I don't know, like 3 weeks ago. So I wasn't quite sure what I was going to present, and I thought to myself, I'm not sure what I know about prediction to risk and managing risk at insurance companies. My background is in actuarial. Are there any other actuaries in the room? Oh, there are. Oh, look at that. Hopefully you guys don't get too offended by what I have to say next. So I'm going to give you the recipe for actuarial automation as we have developed it at Nationwide and walk you through some of our experiences at Nationwide and what we've worked on. But before I can give you a recipe, I have to go tell you my life story, just because that's the way recipes work. My name is Michael Ban. Fun fact about me, I hate to hike. Unfortunately, she really likes to hike, and I live in New Hampshire, where it's a mandatory residency requirement. My current role at Nationwide is Actuarial Data and Technology, where I manage the data interests for P&C, finance, and actuarial. I represent the 500 or so what I call AAA players, actuaries, accountants, and financial analysts. I started my career as an actuary. Eventually, I became a data guy, and now I am a data guy supporting actuaries. It's a job that I don't think a lot of people want, and not very many people are good at, so they keep asking me to go do it. I worked in property and casualty for about 20 years. 10 years of that was working in runoff, and in runoff, we evaluated books of business for mergers and acquisitions. All told, I've seen the data operations of about 10 to 12 or so insurance companies, and in my experience, everybody has a hard time with data. Like, there's just nobody who's doing really great at it. Here are some basic actuarial functions that exist in a property and casualty company. We've got catastrophe modeling, rate making, reserving and claim analytics, reinsurance. The common theme across all of these functions is that actuaries take data, they bring it to some place where they can analyze it, they make selections using actuarial methods, Berkowitz-Sherman, chain ladder, Bornherder-Ferguson. You take those and you apply actuarial methods and you make selections using actuarial judgment, and then based on those selections, you then do calculations. So the work of automating actuarial procedures and practices and processes is hard because it has to go flow through the brain of an actuary. And oftentimes, a lot of that work is done in Excel, which is a data dead end, and it's hard to go capture the work product that comes out of Excel. So we're going to talk about a little bit about how we deal with that at Nationwide. So here is our recipe. Feel free to go take it and make it your own and bake your version of actuarial automation. I'm going to regret saying this. Feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn and tell me how it comes out for you. But first step is cleaning up your data. We have to get all of our data. So actuaries, if you ask them what their data requirements are, it's give me all the data. Give me all the policy data. Give me all the claim data. Actuaries tend not to understand what that actually means, though. So we have to go work through figuring out how to accomplish that appropriately. Next step is getting out of Excel. And then from there, we mix and combine. Loop, there we go. My hot take on this is that all data problems boil down to three things. You either have a location problem, a translation problem, or a consumption problem. In the location problem, it is getting all of your application data into one place. So you've got multiple policy application systems, you've got multiple claim application systems, you want all of your vehicles in one place, you want all of your properties in one place so that you can go do actuarial work. A lot of the wrangling that takes place is trying to figure out how to solve that problem. Historically, data warehousing has been trying to go solve this problem. Most of our tools and integration services are trying to go solve this problem. This is a problem that I think most people in the room are fully aware of and are working actively on. The hard part, though, is the translation problem. In the translation problem, that is, the language that each of your applications speak in are not consistent across the board. What you call products, what you call territories, what you call lines of business, what you call business units, they're coded differently on each application. The solution to this usually lies in your general ledger or an integration layer that exists right before your general ledger that implements rules that homogenize all of that data flow. What I advocate for is left shifting all of those rules so that your general ledger is not the place that you go do analytics. You put in good data governance practices to manage the values that you want for each field. You create an agreed upon set of valid values for line of business, for coverage, for business unit, for sales territory. And then you create translation rules that take the values that come out of your application systems and land it in the agreed upon valid values. That's your translation problem. Easier said than done. The reason this is hard is because you need a lot of support and insight from the business side, and the business side tends to struggle working in data. The consumption problem is the idea that, so here I would advise you not to fall into the fallacy that once you're done with data work, if you wrap a dashboard around it and hand it off, that's how your users want to consume data. Every time you go do a dashboard project and you hand it off to your users are going to say, wow, that's beautiful. I love that. Can I get that in Excel? And the reason is that's not how they want to consume their data. They want to go do things with it. They want to touch it. They want to apply methods. They want to do calculations. So how do we meet them where they're at? Another way of looking at these three problems is medallion architecture. So the advice here is implement the right solutions in the right place that helps you solve these problems across your enterprise. The next step, get out of Excel. I've talked about how Excel is a data dead end. The actuaries are really good at building tools in Excel. What Databricks has provided for us, and we heard about this in our keynote, is went into general availability like earlier this year. We use Databricks apps. And the great thing about Databricks apps is the barrier to entry is really low. Actuaries can go build tools for themselves really quickly, and then we can go host them in Databricks to go interact with the data that we've staged for them to go consume. And then from there, in those tools that the actuaries have built, we can go and capture those selections that the actuaries have made. And the work product that the actuaries provide in those selections can then be part of a data process workflow. Where that takes us is a place where now we have staged data fit for consumption in our data lake. We have training data sets that we've captured from actuaries. We combine the two together, and we can go create inference models that then can make selections as if they were actuaries. So then, if you have those inference models, it's probably not a big leap to go create agents that write out those actuarial selections, loss development factors, trend factors, frequency trend, severity trend, on leveling, complement of credibility, all sorts of things that actuaries end up picking. You have an agent that writes those out as information materializes. So as your policies get written, as your claims get paid out, you're just periodically writing out those trend factor selections. And then you stick agents on top of that leverage those selections that do on-the-fly calculations. So for example, a rate level calculation. You can have an agent do an on-demand rate level calculation, and then you can use another agent that leverages that on-demand rate level calculation to continuously monitor your rate levels across your whole portfolio. And when things get bad or fall out of a tolerance, it'll raise its hand and say, hey, North Carolina Auto BI is running a +10 indication. It'll raise its hand, ask the actuary to come along and take a look at what's happening in that book of business. And even before it flags the actuary to come take a look at it, you can then use generative AI to create the rate review package. You can use generative AI to create the filing package. And before you know it, what you end up with is a multi-layered agentic AI system with an actuary in the loop. I say actuary in the loop instead of human in the loop because it's questionable whether or not actuaries are human, depending on who you are. So there you have it. That's my recipe for actuarial automation. Feel free to take it. Your mileage may vary. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Michael. So with that, Sebastien and Dilani, you want to come over? Perfect. So first question, just so that we can level set a little bit in the room. So if you can just please tell the audience your name, your company, and what you do for your company. I think that would be great.
Yeah, sure.
Sebastien?
My name is Sebastien Gignac. I'm a manager for data engineering at Intact Insurance or Intact Financial Corp. We are the biggest, largest P&C insurance in Canada. I am part of the Intact Lab, which is a big entity of 1,000 people working on digital and data project.
Awesome. Dilani?
Hello, my name is Dilani Herat. I am the Director of Platform ML and AI at Thrivent Financial. My responsibilities or my team's responsibilities span across developing platform capabilities that take data from ingestion, transformation to consumption, as well as enabling ML teams and AI use cases.
Perfect. And I'll skip you, Michael.
Hi, I'm Michael.
Just because I'm so offended by your actuarial jokes. I'm an actuary by background, probably yeah. So with that, Sebastien, usage-based insurance. Big Warrior is talking about it. Intact has been embracing UBI for quite a while. So can you just walk us through the journey on usage-based insurance and telematics, right? Like IoT, like when you guys started versus where you are right now and some of the learnings.
Yep, sure. So for those who don't know, maybe UBI, it's a program that we can take the telematic data from drivers and understand their driving behaviors. That is used to understand better the behaviors of your clients. So we started that like more than 12 years ago. At first it was really exploratory. We used to ship a little dongle that needed to be plugged in the car. It was really like the phase where we learned about the appetite for the customer for this kind of program, how we would interpret and get that data, what we're going to learn about this data also, and what we can do with this. Very early, we found out that we needed to move towards a more digital version than this little dongle. That was not really a scalable solution over the old book of business. So we use now the mobile data, so the mobile data of our clients. When they onboard in the program, we use their cell phone basically to get the data about the telematic program. That was a big phase. This is where we learned about, first the data was really more complex and really more, verbose, if you want. We had plenty of data. We needed to, at that moment, this is where actuarials, data scientists really start to develop and master that data and be able to extract the best, variables that we could use to be able to provide good rating and good solution to our clients. This is also the moment where the customer started to adopt that program and be more at ease with the fact that they are being tracked. Basically, that was a real pain point at first. Let's say that the third phase, if I can say, of the program was we've been able to build a ML model to learn to analyze the client's data. This is the moment where we've been able to use ML to score, basically, or to evaluate each trips that a customer do. Every time someone drives, we receive the data 5 minutes after, and we analyze in real time all that data that comes in, and we're able to build a driver score that will allow us to evaluate how we're going to apply, rebates to the customer or surcharge if it's the case, to be able to segment basically good drivers and bad drivers. The last phase, let's say the fourth phase that we're in right now, we're really literally in the driver model 4 generation. So that's the moment where right now we're able to really develop and expand that program way more. We are able to calculate different perspectives. We're starting to be able even to start computing the traffic data. We can extrapolate our own traffic data based on what comes in, so we're able to know if drivers are driving in dangerous situation or different dangerous moments or dangerous roads. So we're getting more and more knowledgeable with the data right now. So that's almost it. The next step for us is really to embed. It's going to be to embed geospatial data. So we're going to try to include into this like traffic data from outside, weather data also to have better predictions and better analysis of the behaviors.
That's awesome. Thank you. Dilani, what about you? It would be great if you can share some innovations that you've done for Thrivent, specifically about how do you leverage different types of data, structure, unstructured. We're just at the keynote, right? And people are all talking about AI is what everybody's talking about, but in order for you to do AI, your data has to be ready. So you want to share some innovations?
Yeah, definitely. I can give 2 unique examples. One is from my previous startup where I was able to design and develop a end-to-end customer 360 insights framework where we were able to uniquely curate content and banking experience for our user groups. This is a underserved communities. And then for that, we were also integrated to sentiment analysis and then drive, again, around a curated experience for banking, making it fun around content, media, which eventually really helped us drive adoption and customer conversion as well, along with retaining customers within our app and application usage and making it a unique and a fun experience. At Thrivent, we are taking a really strategic and a very purposeful approach to also building the foundational frameworks. Right, so me and my team, we are uniquely positioned to build very exciting, in the background, but very exciting framework capabilities to bring in from data contracts that would ingest data from structured, unstructured data, and semi-structured to also get the data right, provide the unified data views, and run data transformations as well. Because then the data can be used in some of our use cases that we are leveraging for predictive analytics and ML AI use cases, such as like the next best action that we are leveraging today and optimizing as well. So getting those foundational capabilities is innovative in that it gets you to the data the way you want it, and the optimal data for AI and ML, which is really the pivoting point for us.
That's great, thank you. And then now back to you, Michael. Tell us about some of the innovations that your team is driving. I love the actuarial recipe for automation, but outside of Actuarial, what are some of the cool things that you and your team are working on?
What are some of the cool things my team's working on?
Pick one.
So we've got models and machine learning and for cleaning up our geographies and we're on a 3-year journey of actuarial modernization. And so we went and looked at all of our actuarial processes. We are trying to go clean up all of our data pipelines that go to all of the reserving processes, all of the pricing processes. What we found was that the way data was stacked up and the way data made it to each of the functions, we built their own pipelines, right? So the pipelines that went to pricing and the pipelines that went to finance and the pipelines that went to KPIs and the pipelines that went to reserving, they all went on their own direction and they all said different things and they all processed different stuff. So my goal working in data was trying to go untangle those pipelines and get everybody to go tell the same story and come up with the same definitions for premium and losses. Once we're able to go do that, we can then clean up our business processes on the way we do pricing, the way we do reserving, the way we do planning and forecasting, catastrophe modeling, and everybody's building off of the same data sets. My opinion is that's the foundation of all the work that we're doing here.
That's great, thank you. Back to you, Sebastien. Obviously, Intact, I think it's interesting that you said that it is the largest insurance company in Canada. Mm-hmm. Michael, interesting for you, their CEO is an actuary.
It's not very
He's probably
insurance, they are all actuaries.
But tell us a little bit about the Intact Lab and how you and your team are thinking about unifying data. Like, I love the fact that you're talking about real time and getting information from the trip, the weather, like how can you correlate all of those different data sources? Yeah. So if you can talk a little bit about the tools and technology to unify that data and have the real-time processes. We're also checking that things are correct.
Yeah. So basically, there is kind of 3 main components that is involved into the program itself. Data streaming is one key critical component. Obviously, we receive sometimes up to 6,000 trips per minute to ingest and score and everything. So that data flows from one step to the other, from the ingestions to the preparations of the data to the model serving and so on. So the streaming of all that is very critical key components. We use autoloaders, we use Delta Live tables, we use structure streaming, we use I probably forgot a couple of them. I see my guys there. They probably know more than me. So this is a very key critical component, being able to have this data that flows around and keep the level of stability, quality That's one key component that bring lots of challenge when you try to be near real time. I'm going to say near real time. It's not necessarily pure real time. The second thing is the data storage. So you want to avoid as much as possible data movement. So you want to have like a central repository, a central place where all your data will be, and every single process should attach and start from there. So obviously, Delta Lake is kind of the major components, but it's not necessarily only the Delta Lake. We do have, still use some Hive tables here and there. We do use AWS S3 buckets also. So this is where we receive everything. So we need to juggle with all these different places, but we ensure that the prepared layer or the gold layer of the data is within the Delta Lake. Also, all the results from the model surveys, the scores and everything, all of that needs to be returned into the Delta Lake to be sure that this is constant. So that's another thing. And the other more important and very important thing is the cataloging of the information and the governance around that. So be sure that it's secured because it's C4 data basically. So the telematic data is considered very sensitive. So how can you be sure that every step you can protect the data basically? So that's the whole solution. We have also everything related to model serving. So we use MLflow to monitor the behavior of the data when it's scored and if the model responds correctly and it doesn't move around with biases.
Great, thank you. Dilani, what about your point of view on unifying all of this data? It's great that Sebastian talked a lot about some of the products and the features. Michael as well with Databricks App, but what about you and Thrivent?
Yeah, I mean, we have internal, external, third-party data, and while it sounds simple, that's a foundational shift that we are working on and continue to work on is unifying and getting all the data into our analytics platform. I would say it's a journey for us. As I mentioned, we have built the capabilities that would help accelerate and then unify the data ingestion and transformation as well. In Thrivent, we are also going through the building of and go forward approach for our enterprise data platform, which is the go forward strategy is Databricks base, which is our backbone in our strategic vision. And then also it helps with the integration to tools like dbt, Power BI that really helps us transform and get the data to our end users as well. So on the consumption side, while we have some capabilities, we are also looking at how can we continue to expand on the data consumption for some of the data sets as well, because there are, while we have personas, there's various aspects of each of the personas we have as well that run into challenges.
Great, thank you. Michael, what about you with Nationwide? It was great. I was talking to Rich here, right? And you were not only one of the early adopters of Databricks, but also one of the early believers in Databricks apps, and you give us a lot of feedback. So what is your perspective of just the unifying, govern all of the, not only the data, right, but all of the assets, like the models, the applications?
Yeah, this speaks to the location problem, right? So not just the location problem where data comes from, but the location problem where everybody consumes data from. And then as they consume data, people are then making data products themselves, and then they are generating data. So then how do you route that back to that one location that we store data to make those data products then consumable? So we're exploring the idea of an internal data marketplace, right? And so that as we publish data products out there, people like actuaries and data scientists are leveraging those data products and then creating data products themselves, and they are within the manufacturing process of whatever modeled score that they come up with, that can go back and get used in that marketplace. And then somebody else can go take that modeled score or that risk score and do something else with it or report off of it somewhere else. And it's this feedback loop. The extrapolates and builds a whole data community throughout the company, right? And then you mature your throughout that data continuum throughout the whole company, and I think that's the dream. That's what we're trying to work towards.
Great. Related to that, collaboration, right? Like most of you that were on the keynote, right? Like everybody's talking about, yeah, like we have like the data engineers, the data scientists, the enterprise architects, but there's also UX, UI designers, right? Like the business. And I feel like a lot of it comes down to just like training enablement and literacy, right? Like data literacy, business literacy. So starting with you, Sebastien, talk to us a little bit about the collaboration that you've seen within Intact on like the different personas that, but probably they're all trying to access the same data, but for different purposes.
Yeah, well, UBI, it's not just a technological project, it's not just pure IT, it touched the customers, we have the customer needed to be involved into this. So obviously there's this big user experience part that it's in, we have behavioral analysis, we have user experience specialists that will design the application and the experience for the customer. So they are at the forefront of what's going to be the next iteration, what feature we need to deliver, how this feature needs to speak to the customers. So that's very, very important. So there's all this, I'm going to call it non-IT part, where all the research is very important. The next two teams that are very important but closer to IT are data science and actuarial teams. So they need to be there to say like, okay, what can we do with the data in the data science part, and is it going to be profitable, or is it going to be risky for the business on the actuarial side of things? So this trio of team are really guiding the project towards where it needs to go. After that, you have all the IT teams where we have like the data engineering, that AI engineering team. We have all the DevOps and the software engineering team that needed to be to create basically that experience this big program to see life.
Great. Delaney, what about you? I feel like sometimes it's, collaboration is this rosy picture, easier said than done. People talk about people, process, technology, change management is important. So you can share with the group some of the learnings on collaboration within Thrivent.
Yeah, I think one of our biggest challenges, which we have started to go through, as I said, a journey, is the simplification process. When I joined, we had a lot of roles. Even within the personas, there were sub-personas. Now we have made it to 5 unique personas, catering for analysts, data scientists, data engineers, and administrative engineers, data engineers. So when it comes to data engineers, what we believe in is giving the tool sets, the data contracts, which are config driven. So a lot of the data engineering work now can be done seamlessly, and they can focus on the data engineering work. So that, I would say, is definitely a critical point. So engineers actually focus on the engineering, the data engineering aspects, and they don't have to work through integrations and other challenges that comes with it. As far as the ML engineers and data scientists, while there's a lot of work ongoing, curating the data, getting the unified data, and having the data lineage and metadata around it embedded to our data ecosystem, which is a key factor for all these personas, I would say another success factor for us is we decided to look at creating a unique environment for data science and ML that's integrated to our data ecosystem, but it's also distinctly unique on how we can migrate, do evaluations. So there is essentially like a playground for more ML data science environments as well. And then for the analysts, we are going through a lot of evaluation right now around low-code, no-code. This is where we have those multiple personas. While we call them analysts, we have a lot of technical engineer-like analysts, as well as we have actuarials and other business legal teams that are fans of Excel, so we are looking at how can we really give the data yet provide solutions that are, and we also have a highly sensitive data while not exposed with things like Excel exports. It could potentially have fraudulent issues. So how do we really give a seamless experience? We haven't solve that aspect, but I think there's a lot of cool integrations that we are discovering through the Databricks conference, which I'm super excited, our team's super excited to go back and experiment and see whether some of those would suit our use cases for the analyst, low-code, no-code personas.
That's perfect. Looking at the clock, one last question for each one of you. It's a different question. Sebastien, with all of this innovation and the way that Intact Lab is thinking about like cool things that you can do, how do you come up even with a return investment? Like how do you get funding, right? Like what are the metrics of success? I mean, people are talking about efficiency, cost, quality. Like share with the audience what is success and how do you get budget for these things?
I'm going to try to do quick on this one. This kind of program, obviously the first thing we think about is like having the best driver and not the worst driver, so you save on claims, more profitable on that. So that's the obvious reason why. But also, this kind of program creates digital adoption with your clients. So that brings operational efficiency by having less calls to call center because people are used to go into their app and they see that they can do their policy change from there and they open a claim so driving operational efficiency with this program is kind of a second level profitability layer if you want that you can reach out of this. But the main reason, it's to have a better book of business, understanding better your clients and be able to rate these people accordingly based on their risk.
Great. Dilani, hackathon. Everybody is talking about different ways that you can get the business and the technical people together. I know you recently conducted a hackathon. Share with us, like, how do you even get to just, what would be the use case that you're going to be talking about? How do you get buy-in for people to come? How do you design it? Any guidance?
Yeah, I mean, the recent hackathon, we learned a lot as we were planning and executing and then through the whole process as well. We recently did a hackathon in partnership with Databricks. It was only a month of planning, ideation, let's do it, and we initially thought only a few people would join. And then we had, while we didn't open it up to the whole enterprise, it was within the data organization and some of our partnership teams. So we can, that objective was adoption, to show also how much progress we have made, what are some of the capabilities from a tooling and data perspective we can bring in. We were able to really, some of the key differentiators were being able to spin up an environment really fast, again, give the data, real life data available for the use cases to run as well. And then our winning use case, for example, was around business and engineering teams collaborating to look at our NPS scores and whether there were any predictive models or predictive trends around correlationships with data that we hadn't really thought of and to trend. So that was essentially the hypothesis around, is there a retention and retention of advisors, because we are a very high touch, human high touch organization where advisors work one-on-one with our consumers as well. We had all our top 10 use cases were real life use cases that the team was able to bring in, mainly because of the availability of data, how integrated the data was for engineers, for all our personas to run use cases, and then show the outcome-driven values as well. So the hackathon really resonated well, while we didn't intend to, with all our leadership as well as our business leadership was able to see real-time value with especially like capabilities like Genie AI. It was very exciting, excitement was built, which help us bridge some of the burned bridges with some of our business users to show there is data, it is usable, there are unified views that you can create, simply create, or there are complex views that are available in our marketplace that you can use, that business users, we were able to, that was unintended, but we were really able to build that trust factor, and our users started asking, can I use like prompt engineering, which discussions we haven't had before. So very exciting times. Again, the key differentiators were being able to scale an environment, get the tooling capabilities to the hands of user personas that are a variety of personas, not just the engineers being able to do a prompt engineering work.
Perfect, thank you. I know we are at time, so we just want to thank our sponsors, Deloitte and AWS. Here are other sessions within financial services. So if you want to check them out, take a picture. It's also in the agenda. We have data intelligence for financial services. Kim Hatton, our marketing person, has helped us a lot with getting a lot of these white papers, learnings out. So if you are interested, here's the QR code. And yeah, with that, we care about feedback. So if you can just please also complete the survey on the phone. Tell us about like what else would you like to see, if we need to change the format. We do take feedback seriously. So with that, let's give a round of applause to our wonderful speakers. Thank you.